Super Science with Tina. This virtual enrichment was brought to you by Center for Success. Today we're going to make magic jumping beans. So you can actually use beans. If you don't have beans, you can use rice. You can use uncooked macaroni, which is what I'm going to use today. And we're going to put together a combination of liquids that is going to cause this to happen, for them to basically jump up and down and dance around in a container. Now, first, our scientific method, we need to ask a question. I asked, what happens when you combine vinegar, baking soda, and water, and then add some things to it to see if they sink or float? Well, then we have to form our hypothesis or our educated guess. So when I was first thinking about this, my educated guess or hypothesis was, I think all three ingredients will separate from each other and kind of form layers, and that the things that we drop in there are just going to sink right to the bottom. And if we add some food coloring, it's just going to lay right on top, because I think that's probably the lightest, because you don't have to use much of it to change the color of liquid. So let's get started. Okay, the third part, gather materials. So we need baking soda, 1 heaping teaspoon. We need a container. You can use a jar or empty water bottle. And we need to fill it halfway with water. And then we have our food coloring. And after we fill this halfway with water, we're going to fill the rest of it with vinegar and put our heaping teaspoon in, and then pick the color of your choice for food coloring, and then drop your objects in, and let's see what happens. So let me get some water. Okay, I'm going to fill up my container halfway. We're almost there. Not quite, but enough. Then we're going to add our vinegar, about the same amount as the water. So if you do halfway, you would fill up to the top, because 2 halves make a whole. Okay, so there's our vinegar and water mixture, and they're not forming layers. They're kind of going together, and I see some bubbles. So then I'm going to add a drop of food coloring. Ooh, sweet. And then our heaping teaspoon baking soda. Whoa, something's happening. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, we gotta put in our macaroni. The bubbles will lift the macaroni at the bottom. Oops. Put these back in. And we'll start to see them dance around. We need It's lifting up the macaroni. Can you guys see that? The bubbles lift and drop. Here's another one floating up. It almost appears as if they're dancing or they're magic. See how the bubbles are pushing up the macaroni, even though the macaroni's pretty heavy. Let's see if we can get this one going a little. Okay, so we asked a question, formed a hypothesis, gathered our materials, conducted the experiment, collected the data and wrote it down. What I wrote down is that I noticed that there was a lot of bubbles and kind of looked like a volcano, and everything just kind of mixed together, and then the bubbles were pushing the macaroni up, and then they would fall back down, and then they would get pushed up again. So after analyzing this data and looking over it, I found that it kind of had a chemical reaction, and that even though the macaroni is heavy, the bubbles were so powerful, like a volcano. They pushed it back up. So we have to report out and share our end results. So contrary to what I hypothesized, all three ingredients did not separate and form layers. All three ingredients combined, resulting in a chemical reaction causing the objects to dance and float up, pushed up by the bubbles, and come back down because of their weight. So I think this was really cool. So please comment below and join us next time when we make odor eater critters. So if you had some stinky shoes, you might want to watch that one. Thank you for joining us today and sharing your time with Center for Success. We are grateful for the opportunity to be a part of your life. It's so great to share a new form of community with you.